This is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host. I'm not going to do a review of this book. I'm just going to highly recommend that people buy it. It's called Hate Crime Hoax, Hoax, Hate Crime Hoax, How the Left is Selling a Fake Race War by Dr. Wilfred Reilly, Reilly. You need to get it. Go to Amazon.com. This book is particularly important that you buy this book now, after we've seen the release of this so-called lynching ad by Charles Booker Jr., where Booker is indirectly trying to insinuate that Senator Rand Paul is a supporter of lynchings and terrorism and intimidation, and he's a hate-filled individual, and he wants to divide us along racial lines. Very important that you read this book now, after that type of ad. I'm not saying Booker's right. I'm not saying Booker's wrong, but I am saying that you need to read this book and then refer back to that ad. Here's one thing. This here in the book. Dr. Reilly has studied hundreds of reported hate crimes, an astonishing percentage of which turned out to have been entirely made up by their so-called victims, quote-unquote victims. Some hoaxes are motivated by a simple desire for insurance money, but many from a young black woman's claim that she was chased by Trump supporters throwing both rocks and racial insults at her on the day after the 2016 election to the giant swastika, supposedly painted in human feces on a dorm wall at the University of Missouri, arise out of the left's need to believe that their opponents are racist. These are hoaxes, folks, and he's documented how many of these, he's documented these hoaxes. He's documented this. It's about a 300-something page book. Who is Dr. Reilly? He's a professor. According to the book here, he's a professor of political science at Kentucky State University and the author of the $50 million question, an engagingly empirical examination of the relationship between privilege and pride. His scholarly work has been published by the International Journal of Contemporary Applied Sciences, the Journal of Scientific Research and Studies, and the American International Journal of Humanities and Social Work. His research interests include contemporary American race relations and the use of modern quantitative empirical methods to test sacred cow theories. It'd probably be pretty safe to say that Dr. Reilly could never expect a job, a teaching position at the University of Louisville's Pan-African Studies Department or a paid research position at the Louisville Urban League. But it is very important that you read this book, you get a hold of this book, and check out what this man has to say. And if you disagree, with a lot of what he says, please, contact us and let us know. But it's important that we read this, and it's important that we encourage other people to read this book.